Choosing the best CPA exam review course is a big deal. This exam is expensive, time-consuming, stressful, and honestly, it can mess with your confidence if you don't have the right study system. But the right CPA prep course, it can change everything. You'll learn faster, spend less on retakes, and stop dreading every study session. You can boost your confidence so exam day feels like a breeze, and you can find a course style that actually works for you and your unique brain. So today, I'm breaking down the best CPA prep courses that I tested, who they're best for, what I liked, what I didn't love, and how I'd actually choose between them. Before we get started though, just a heads up that we post new study tips, prep course reviews, and exam updates every single day. So if any of that interests you, don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get into my top picks. Keep in mind that I didn't actually study for the CPA exam. I worked through the courses from a student's perspective, so I can give you an inside look before you make a decision. First up is Becker CPA Review, and that's the best overall. Becker is the course I'd recommend to someone who says, I want the full package, I want structure, support, and a course that feels polished, complete, and focused on what the exam actually tests. When I tested Becker, the thing that stood out the most was how steady the experience felt. I could build a weekly study schedule, watch live classes when I wanted structure, switch to on-demand lectures when I needed flexibility, and use the adaptive practice tools to keep moving toward my weaker areas. And that matters more than you might think, because one of the hardest parts of studying for the CPA exam isn't just learning the material, it's knowing what to study next. Becker's Adapt to You technology helped with that. And instead of making me guess where I should spend my time, it kept surfacing the topics that I was missing. For me, that meant getting humbled by formulas I definitely should have remembered from school, but apparently did not. I also really liked Becker's practice interface. It felt exam day familiar with windows, spreadsheets, calculators, and task-based simulation tools that looked and felt like something you could actually see on test day. And that sounds small until you're sitting for the real exam and everything already feels intimidating. Familiarity helps. Another standout was new to Becker's AI assistant. I don't think it replaces human tutoring, and I wouldn't pretend that it does, but during review, it was helpful to pause, ask a specific follow-up question, and keep studying without having to leave the platform or start Googling. But there is a downside, and it's worth considering. Becker is expensive and the dashboard can feel busy at first. There are a lot of tools, a lot of features, and a lot of content. And that's great if you want a complete system, but it may feel overwhelming if you prefer something lean and simple. Bottom line, Becker is my best overall pick for candidates who want structure, strong materials, live and on-demand options, adaptive practice, final review support, and a premium experience. Next is Gleim CPA Review, which I call the best for practice depth. If you're the kind of person who learns by doing hundreds or thousands, or let's say over 12,000 multiple choice questions and 1,600 task-based simulations, Gleim is going to make a lot of sense. When I tested Gleim, it kept pushing me into the exact topics I was trying to avoid: governmental accounting, pensions, the stuff where CPA candidates probably think, maybe if I ignore this long enough, it won't show up on the exam. Spoiler, that is not a study strategy. Gleim's strength is its practice bank and explanations. The answer explanations do more than tell you the right answer. They explain why the wrong answers are wrong, which is where a lot of the learning actually happens. That was probably my favorite thing about Gleim. When I missed a question, I didn't feel like I had just failed. It felt like the platform was turning the mistake into a lesson, and I wasn't being punished, I was being primed to do better next time. The dashboard was also clean. I liked the do this, then this flow because it helped reduce decision fatigue. It's truly some of the best instructional design I've ever seen. Study units are divided into lessons with one main video, 2 to 3 question walkthrough videos, a written outline, and a handful of roughly 5 focus questions. If you want to just click through the material in bite-sized sessions that keep the dopamine flowing, you'll love Gleim. And when you're studying after work or early in the morning or during lunch, decision fatigue is real. Sometimes you don't want to design a study plan. You want the course to tell you what to do next. Gleim also has Smart Adapt, which helps target weaker topics and subtopics. That makes it a strong fit for candidates who want personalized study recommendations, but still want a very practice-heavy approach. Now, the downside is that the volume can feel like a lot. If you open Gleim and see the size of the question bank, you might sweat a little, and the video style may feel a little more slide heavy compared to UWorld or Becker. So if you need highly energetic lectures to stay engaged, Gleim might not be your favorite. But if your attitude is, give me the reps, give me the explanations, let me drill until I understand this, Gleim is a strong choice. Bottom line, Gleim is best for candidates who want a massive amount of practice, strong explanations, adaptive study guidance, and a serious question bank experience. Third is UWorld CPA Review, the best for engaging video-based learning. UWorld is the course I'd look at if lectures really matter to you. When I tested UWorld, the instructors left the biggest impression on me. The lectures felt more energetic and conversational than traditional classroom lectures. They talked like real people, not like they were trying to win an award for making accounting sound as dry as possible. And for CPA prep, that matters because there are going to be days when you're tired, there are going to be topics that you do not want to study, and if the instructor can keep you engaged for even a little bit longer, that can make the difference between actually finishing your study session and closing the laptop for 5 minutes and never coming back. UWorld also has really strong answer explanations. I found them longer and more visual than many other providers. A lot of explanations included charts, visuals, and extra context that made it easier to understand what was actually happening. That makes UWorld especially helpful if you learn from practice questions but don't want explanations that feel too thin. Their SmartPath technology also helps show whether you're performing at the level you need to be for a topic. You never have to wonder if you're ready for the exam or not. UWorld just tells you. I also tested the flashcards, practice questions, custom quizzes, and mobile app, and overall the experience felt smooth. UWorld is especially good for people who want to study in shorter windows because you can build custom quizzes around specific topics and get productive reps without committing to a huge study block. The negatives, well, UWorld does not have the same live class structure as Becker. So if you need live instruction and external accountability, that's something to consider. And because UWorld has a lot of content, it can still feel overwhelming if you don't already have a clear plan. Bottom line, UWorld is a great fit if you want engaging instructors, strong visual explanations, SmartPath guidance, and a modern study experience that doesn't feel painfully boring. Fourth is Surgent CPA Review, and this is the best for modern tech and time efficiency. Surgent is the course that I'd recommend to the candidate who says, I don't have unlimited time, I need to know what I'm weak in, and I need to fix it fast. When I tested Surgent, the first thing that I liked was Ready Score. It gives you a baseline, so instead of guessing how prepared you are, you get a clearer picture of where you stand. Plus, like UWorld, it gives you a readiness score, so you always know where you stand and how far you have left to go. Then the ASAP technology uses that performance data to build a more targeted study plan. The idea is simple. Don't waste time reviewing everything equally. Spend more time on what you don't know. And honestly, I think that's where Surgent shines. It didn't always feel like the prettiest course. The videos lean more toward voiceover slides, and the platform didn't feel quite as polished or elegant as Becker or UWorld, but it did feel effective. Like, I could take a diagnostic assessment, see where I was weak, follow the recommendations, and watch my scores improve. And that's the kind of feedback loop that a lot of CPA candidates need. Surgent also works well for independent learners. So if you are disciplined, self-motivated, and mostly need a course to tell you where to focus, Surgent can be a really efficient option. But if you need more fixed class schedule, high energy teaching, or lots of hand-holding, you may prefer Becker or UWorld. Bottom line, Surgent is best for candidates who want adaptive technology, readiness tracking, efficient study sessions, and a plan that focuses hard on weak areas. Fifth is Lamber's CPA Review, the best value for focused study materials. Lamber's is a little different from the bigger names on the list, and when I tested Lamber's, it felt more no frills and straightforward. The platform is not trying to impress you with a huge modern dashboard. It's focused on explanations, practice, and getting through the material. I liked the 3-mode testing approach: pretest, adaptive review, and simulated exam. That gave the study process a simple rhythm. First, see what you know, then drill what you don't, then test yourself in a more exam-like setting. That kind of simplicity can actually be refreshing. Not every candidate wants a giant course with every possible feature. Some people want a practical tool that helps them review, practice, and move forward without feeling like they need a tutorial just to use the dashboard. That said, I would be careful about who I recommend Lamber's to. If you're brand new to accounting, recently graduated, or starting from scratch, I'd probably lean toward Becker, Gleim, UWorld, or Surgent first. Those courses feel more comprehensive. You're not practicing what you already know with them, you're learning the fundamental knowledge you need to pass. But if you already understand a decent amount of the material, or if you're retaking a section, or if you mainly need affordable practice and review, Lamber's can make a lot of sense. It can also work well as a supplement if your main course didn't give you enough practice, or if you want another way to drill questions before exam day. The downside is that the interface feels more dated, the analytics are not as modern as some competitors, and the question volume is smaller than Becker or Gleim. Bottom line, Lambers is best for budget-conscious candidates, retakers, or students who want a focused practice tool without paying for a giant premium course. And finally, Ninja CPA Review, the best budget-friendly supplement. Ninja is the course I'd look at if you want affordable reinforcement, especially if you already have a main review course. When I tested Ninja, I used the notes, flashcards, digital textbook, audio, and practice questions, and for the price, I was impressed. The biggest strength is flexibility. The month-to-month subscription makes it easier to use Ninja when you need it and pause when you don't, and add it as a supplement without committing to another huge upfront purchase. I especially like the audio and notes for on-the-go studying. If you have a commute, a lunch break, a walk, or even a random 20-minute window where you can't sit down for full practice questions, Ninja gives you ways to keep the material active in your brain. Ninja's also helpful if you're burned out on your main course. Sometimes hearing the same topic explained in a different voice in a shorter format is exactly what helps something finally click. But I do think most candidates should be realistic. If you need deep lectures, extensive instructor support, a polished full course structure, or a very guided experience, Ninja may not be enough on its own. Some candidates absolutely do use it as their primary course, but for many students, I think it shines brightest as a supplement alongside Becker, Gleim, UWorld, or Surgent. The downside is that it does not feel as complete or premium as the top providers, and it may require more self-direction. Bottom line, Ninja is best for budget-conscious candidates, retakers, and students who want extra practice, audio, notes, and flashcards without a huge upfront investment. So how do you choose the right CPA exam review course for you? Here is my simple breakdown. Choose Becker if you want the most complete, premium, structured CPA prep experience. Choose Gleim if you want maximum practice depth and detailed answer explanations. Choose UWorld if you need engaging lectures and strong visual explanations to stay motivated. Choose Surgent if you're short on time and want adaptive tech to tell you exactly where to focus. Choose Lambers if you want a more affordable, focused review tool, especially for retakes or extra practice. Choose Ninja if you want a budget-friendly supplement that helps you study in the margins of your day. And if you're still unsure, ask yourself this: do I need structure? Do I need practice? Do I need better explanations? Do I need accountability? Do I need affordability? Or do I need a course that helps me study faster because my schedule is already full? That answer will usually point you in the right direction. The CPA exam is hard enough. Your review course should make the process clearer, not more confusing. So don't just pick the course with the biggest discount or the loudest marketing. Pick the one that matches how you actually learn, because the best CPA prep course is the one you'll actually use consistently, not dread, not put off, not suffer through. Use. And if you made it this far, I really think you'll love this channel. I talk about this stuff all the time. So for more CPA exam updates, prep course reviews, and study strategies, don't forget to subscribe and check the description for more CPA exam prep resources. Take care.